Welcome to Round on the Ground. My name is Jide and I am here with Francis. Francis, how excited are you about two English teams being in the final of the Europa League and then two English league teams being in the final of the Champions League?
I am totally excited. I'm a personal fan of the EPL, so I feel like the English teams are really doing so well these days. I mean, being in two teams in Europa final, like you said, and then two teams in Champions League. And the last time we've seen two English teams in the final was Manchester United and Chelsea, and that was about 2008.
Okay, in fact, it has only happened 7 times where we have seen two teams from the same national league coming into the final of the Champions League. I think the first time it happened was Real Madrid against Valencia in 2000. After that, Real Madrid had gone to the final against Atleti twice again. Then we have seen it happen in the EPL with Manchester United and Chelsea.
Yes.
And then in the Serie A, we have seen AC Milan go against Juventus. And then I think the last of them was Bundesliga, where Dortmund went against Bayern Munich.
Yeah, so I mean, it's amazing, it's exciting. I mean, and just to think of how these teams have actually come here and the journey to this place. I mean, Liverpool has went through kind of like a fight or struggle to get out their own group teams in the first place, and then having to come back 3-0 against Barcelona with Lionel Messi in that team. It's absolutely amazing.
That was epic.
And it's even more epic, the fact that they didn't have Salah on the team with them. I mean, they were able to do something that they were not able to do last final, in that they played other players. They didn't just depend solely on their 3 main players, Salah, Firmino and Mane. I mean, we saw goals coming from Origi and Wijnaldum. I mean, talk about that.
Okay, before I even go to sports, right? What really tripped me most was Alexander-Arnold with that 4th goal. The awareness of such a young player.
Yes.
I mean, putting the ball through to Origi before they finished Barcelona off. I mean,
beautiful.
That was just amazing.
Yes.
But for Spurs, come on, they have never been here before.
No.
It's a marvelous journey. I mean, they got out of a very tough group that included Barcelona and Inter Milan.
Yeah.
And it was tough getting out of the group. But the turning point for them was the match against Manchester City. You would expect that Manchester City would take the day. But they went on to beat Manchester City in their own new stadium. And
Yes.
then they just did enough at the Etihad to get through. It was, yes. I mean, it was a very difficult match considering the experience of Guardiola's players, the quality and the experience of Pep Guardiola at this stage himself. But wow, that match against Ajax was a
goosebump moment, literally. That's all I can say.
Exactly.
You know, I had goose pimples all over
How
my body.
emotional was Pochettino? I saw him in tears. I mean, he literally broke down.
And I saw fans of Tottenham bringing out South Korea flags from nowhere. Son was absolutely amazing.
Son. Yeah. Now, going into the final, it's a big one.
Very big. I mean, I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking, what can we expect? I mean, in terms of experience, I mean, Klopp has more experience than Pochettino in this, because Klopp has been in the Champions League final 3 times. Twice. Once already with Liverpool and then once with Bayern Munich. So he already knows what to do, what not to do. And I think he learned some valuable lessons against Real Madrid in the last final.
I'm wondering what is going through Klopp's mind, having lost in the final 3 times. You've gone to the final 3 times, you have lost, and then you're coming against Spurs. What could he be thinking?
He's thinking, I don't want to lose again.
I'm just wondering. He's thinking, I don't want to lose again.
Yes.
But then on the side of Pochettino, this is for he himself and most of his boys, except maybe Toby Alderweireld, this is the first time they are going to be at this stage.
Yes.
So, I mean, there seem to be more experience on the side of Liverpool,
yes.
Considering that they were in the final. The players were in the final last year, and they're in the final. Not forgetting also that they had actually been in the final of Europa, yes. in this club era, which means that they have been in 3 finals under Klopp, and I think that should play a part in this.
Yes, and I also want to look at the players. What to expect from players? I mean, everybody's fit. You know, except for I don't think I'm not exactly sure if Kane is probably gonna show in the final. I'm not sure he's totally fit for that yet.
Well, he granted an interview where he said he's ready if the coach is willing to use him. But what he doesn't know is if he will start. It will actually be the call of the coach. But I think player versus player, I mean, it will be very massive for Spurs to really get Harry Kane on the pitch from the start.
And let's not forget that Liverpool has basically the best defense in the Premier League. I mean, Virgil van Dijk is a total, complete wall. He can score and he can defend from pillar to post, basically speaking.
Toby Alderweireld is not particularly Virgil van Dijk, but I can tell you he had been in the finals with Atletico before. So, I mean, he should have gone through that feeling. He should understand the emotions. How well he would inspire the Tottenham defense will remain to be seen.
Yes, but Tony is going up against Mane and Salah.
Well,
that's a lot.
On the front foot, yeah, I do agree that the firepower of Liverpool is quite massive.
Yes.
But when you also look at it, it's not easy to go against Harry Kane. Harry Kane against Son, it's not quite easy.
Yes, but I have to say this. When you look at the firepower of Liverpool, you look at Salah, Mane, Firmino, young boys like Alexander-Arnold coming from nowhere, Wijnaldum, Origi. These guys have been consistent. Consistency being the word there. I mean, Son is an amazing player. I absolutely love him. But putting him together with a Lucas Moura and I don't know. I'm a little more doubtful about their firepower than I am confident about Liverpool's.
Well, maybe not, but you need to also understand that these two teams, they know each other very well.
Yes.
So it's not exactly like playing against an opponent that you don't really know.
Yes.
Because, I mean, week in, week out, they've played in the Premier League. Every season, at least they play against each other twice. So
Yes.
it may not just be exactly like you're playing any other team.
Oh, but this is the final. This is different. I mean, and now think of the coaches. I mean, Klopp losing, he has been second all his life. And then Pochettino never imagined or even conceiving that it could actually be this far. What do you think? Coach against coach.
I'm a big admirer of Jurgen Klopp. He knows how to motivate his players. He knows how to make them happy. He has been a champion before. Pochettino has never won any title. That is not to say that he's not a fantastic coach. He's a great coach. So it's a first time for him. But in terms of experience, I expect Klopp to trump him. But tactically, Pochettino is not exactly a naive coach. He has proved himself to also be tactically astute, especially when you look at the match against Manchester City, how they qualified and then how they came back. I mean, he made some tactical switches that were instrumental to Spurs coming back very well against Ajax.
I also think that in terms of psyche, I think that Klopp's boys may be a little more desperate than Pochettino's boys, because now they're thinking, I don't want to come second ever again. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to repeat itself. And then Pochettino's boys are like, we're here. Let's just do what we need to do. And they've found a way so far against Man City, against Ajax, to come from the bottom foot as the underdogs, the unexpected winners, and do something incredible.
Fantastic, but it depends on how they use the emotions. For instance, you can say, okay, let me inspire myself because I have lost a final against Real Madrid last year. Let me then take it from here. Or you can allow the fear to dominate you. Yeah, on the sports side also, well, they can look at it, they can be under less pressure if you look at it and say, okay, fine, let me just relax, let me just enjoy the experience. But also, the pressure of the final is not quite easy. It's not something they are really used to.
No, it's not. And let's think of it. I mean, what would happen if this match goes into penalties? Alisson versus Lloris. Lloris being a World Cup goalkeeper, and Alisson being a Brazilian goalkeeper who couldn't get past, a certain country.
Penalties are always close to call.
Oh yes.
Sometimes the best players would step up and even lose penalties. Yeah. But at that point, I think it's going to be determined by who is mentally stronger among the two teams.
Yes.
Who is able to, I mean, the manager or the players that are able to psych themselves up and maybe keep their head. That will be very close to call.
I also like to see penalties as a goalkeeper's way of showing how good the goalkeeper really is. And if I'm going to pick goalkeepers, no pun intended, but I think I'm going to go with Alisson. Lloris makes mistakes at some critical times. We saw that even in the World Cup final. I'm just saying, what could be bigger than the World Cup final to make such a mistake like that? I think I'm going with Alisson, if we're going at goalkeepers anyway. Yeah,
well, I have seen a few mistakes also from Alisson this season, but I mean, he was very instrumental to Liverpool getting where they are.
Yes, that's true.
Penalty could be
anybody's game.
Yeah. But let's talk about the Ballon d'Or. I mean, with 4 English teams.
Oh yes, I mean we could actually be seeing
the two competitions, the two finals of Europa League and Champions League,
Yes.
could it be the year where we see somebody from the EPL becoming the Ballon d'Or?
Not
and
this year.
Who are the likely candidates for
Not-
Ballon d'Or from the EPL this season?
Not this season. I don't think we're going to see an EPL Ballon d'Or winner this season. But I think we could see soon, because the English teams are coming up really, really fast. And if I'm going to pick anybody, I'll probably go with Mo Salah, which is probably the obvious choice. Mo Salah, I'm thinking Virgil van Dijk. If he
Virgil van
continues,
Dijk, I was going
this
to
is
say
form.
Virgil van Dijk,
I mean, Sadio Mane could get in there with his form. I mean, as much as I want to pick maybe a master player, if I'm going to pick any master player, it's probably going to be the obvious one, which is Sterling. I'm not going with Aguero, unfortunately. I'm not going with Aguero.
I'm not even sure Sterling will be a Man City player will be in the question because of Champions League final. If anybody,
Yes.
if anyone is going to be in
the question,
picture,
yes, it's probably
you
them.
have to be
Yes,
in the Champions League final.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even thought about Tottenham players. I mean, could we see Son in the running? Could we see?
Well,
Could we see?
Son has been quite good, but I don't think so.
I also don't think so. I think
I
it's
don't think
based
so.
on consistency, and we've not
Yeah.
really seen that consistency throughout the season.
Exactly. So going into the predictions.
Oof.
What's
That is scary on its own. That is scary.
What should we expect?
I expect a fun match. It's probably going to be like a roller coaster ride, because you see Liverpool coming from the side of I don't want to be second ever again. I want to win something for the first time. You know, being second in the Premier League, second last year, making critical mistakes. I see them coming with force. But I also see them guarding their back a little bit, because they want to learn from the last mistake. They don't want to make certain mistake like Karius did in the last finals. But I see Tottenham coming from that underdog point of view. You know, they really have nothing to lose. I mean, at this point, they've already won the Champions League at this point. You know, but if I'm going to predict, I think I'm going to give Liverpool the cup. I'm going to say it 2-1.
2-1 Liverpool.
Yes, 2-1.
Okay, well, I am expecting Jurgen Klopp to play his regular pressing game.
Yes.
Yeah. At some point, Spurs will have their chances, but I'm expecting Spurs to play more on the counter.
Okay.
Right? But I mean, I think my prediction is probably going to be the same thing with this. I'm expecting both teams to score goals.
Oh yes. Oh,
And
definitely.
I'm also expecting it to be like maybe a 2-1.
Yes, it's going to be tight. It's not going to be a free-for-all match.
Okay.
Let's
so
know.
Viewers out there, let's know your view. You can go ahead and make your predictions. We would like to know who you think would win. We would also like you to put your expected score lines on. Share it with us. Let's have a discussion. I mean, it's been great, you know, to be out here with you today. We hope that it will be more exciting next time. Thank you.
All right. Good day.